Sometimes you wanna go where everybody knows your name, and they're always glad you came. You wanna be where you can see our troubles are all the same. You wanna be where everybody knows your name.
Okay, so welcome to Christmas at the Edward Alderton. Usually at the end of the run, each run over the last 3 or 4 years, I've made a cocktail for the cast and crew. So I'm going to make 1 or 2 festive ones for you now to celebrate Christmas. And I'm going to start off with the cocktail that I made 2 years ago. It's a shot called the Monyo, M-O-N-Y-O, from a bar in Budapest that invented it. And it begins with Chambord liqueur. Chambord liqueur is a black raspberry liqueur from France. It's named after the chateau of the same name in the Loire Valley, which has 365 rooms, 1 for each day of the year. What I've done is I've put about a quarter measure into the glass of the Chambord, and I've topped that up with vodka. So you've got the sweetness from the raspberry, and you've got the normal aromas of a vodka, and then I'm going to finish it off on the top with just 2 dashes of Tabasco, and Tabasco is going to give it a kick as a finisher. 1, 2, and so as you sort of drink it down, you'll get the combination of the 3 flavours. It's extremely warming, and as our bar manager will tell you, if you have 4 of them, it's quite potent. But 1 will just warm the cockles of your heart for Christmas. So that completes the first one, a nice shot maybe for Christmas Eve. Right, so this time a proper cocktail, and I'm going to sort of change continent and move to America, and I'm going to make for you a mint julep. Now, mint julep is particularly famous as being the drink of the Kentucky Derby, America's most famous horse race held at the end of April, the beginning of May. And at the Kentucky Derby, they serve 120,000 of these mint juleps, and that involves using 10,000 bottles of bourbon. So what I have here is I have a cocktail shaker with a decent amount of ice in it. I have a single measure here of Jack Daniels. Now, Jack Daniels is a whiskey because Jack Daniels is actually sort of made by a filtration system which is different to bourbon. But that's a Jack Daniels. And then the next ingredient, this is sugar syrup. I've used Demerara sugar so that you can see it. A Demerara sugar, and all it is, sugar syrup, is a couple of little sachets of Demerara with hot water, and it's dissolved, so that got that. And then I went and bought some fresh mint, and I've just taken it off the sprigs. I'm going to put the fresh mint into the cocktail shaker. So we've now got the Jack Daniels, we've got sugar syrup, we've got mint, and we've got ice. I put the cocktail shaker on, put it really good shape. You might notice that the cocktail shaker is starting to get condensation on it, and that's because of the amount of ice that's inside it. And they do say that a sort of cocktail is right when it's actually sort of too cold to hold. It's hurting the barman to hold it. But you can certainly see now there all of the condensation. So I've produced ready a whiskey glass with some ice in, a sprig of mint to garnish. And there we go. And there's the mint julep. So a little bit of a mess, but it is Christmas, so not to worry. So there you have your mint julep. Well, anyway, that was a nice bit that will make it it's all right on the night. But it won't be the first drink that gets spilt a little bit, but it really is delicious. Now, here's a little tip for you with mint. You've possibly all been out to a cocktail bar sometime and the barman has served you up a cocktail which is far too sweet for you. So what you can do is you can go back to the bar and you can ask him for a sprig of mint. And if you get hold of a sprig of mint like this, knock it into your hand, which releases the pores of the mint. Then put that sprig of mint into your drink and it will take the sweetness down straight away, and you'll be able to enjoy a cocktail at the level of sweetness that you like. So there's just a little Christmas tip for you. Right, coming back to Europe now, and I'm going to make you a cocktail that I have done in the theatre before, and one I brought back from Benidorm. And Benidorm has a lot of attractions apart from all the rough stuff that gets the publicity on the TV. So this is going to be called Aqua de Valencia. It's a souped up version really of Buck's Fizz. Now I'm using Cava for this. Now Cava is the Spanish sparkling wine, and it's less popular in the supermarkets than Prosecco because all the advertising is given to Prosecco. But Prosecco is nowadays very cheap Italian wine. The fizz comes by injecting it with carbon dioxide. But it's the one that all the money is spent on advertising. Cava is made in exactly the same way as champagne. So it re-ferments inside the bottle. So it's natural fermentation, not induced by gas. And I've taken the foil off, the sort of top part of the black sector, and I've now got here what is called the cage. And the cage, you'll find that of course on Prosecco, on Cava, the German version of sparkling wine, Sekt, S-E-K-T, and of course champagne. And it doesn't matter whether you buy an inexpensive bottle of bubbly or you pay £200 for a bottle of crystal, it's going to be the same number of twists. So I've just released the foil, so it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and there we have the cage open. It's always 6, and there are various reasons for that. Perhaps the nicest one is that the French associate the number 6 with the word love. There are also 6 atmospheres of pressure inside a sparkling wine. Also, there are always 6 twists. So a sommelier in a posh restaurant can be admiring the young lady's cleavage as he's opening the bottle, and will know that it's always going to be 6 twists. The actual truth, a bit more boring, only 2 companies in Europe make the machinery to fit the cages, and their standard setting is for 6 twists. So there we are. So you take the cage off, and then I'm going to be able to open the bottle. Right, so Aqua de Valencia, the water of Valencia, the province to which Benidorm belongs. Now I've started off, I'm making a half quantity at the moment, but you would probably make a full litre, and I'll give you all of the measurements for that. But what I'm making a half measure, so I've started off with 300 millilitres of orange juice with plenty of ice in the jug. Now, to start making the Aqua de Valencia, which is beefed up Buck's Fizz, I'm adding a single measure of gin, a single measure of vodka, and then I'm going to add 125 ml of Cava. Now I've got the measure scale on the back of the jug so I can watch what I'm doing. There we are. And give that a little twist with a cocktail spoon. And that's all ready to add into your glass for the Aqua de Valencia. So definitely a really good party drink for Christmas, and look how attractive that is with the garnish of the orange slice the glacé cherry, and as it's turned out, a nice little piece of ice sitting on the top of the glass as well. Now, if you were going to make a full jug of this at home, the largest ingredient is orange juice, so this is not an overly strong cocktail. So to do a full jug, use 600 ml of orange juice, 50 ml a double of gin, 50 ml a double of vodka, and 250 ml of cava. So that a bottle of cava is 750 ml, so you will actually get 3 litres out of a bottle of cava. And usually when I make a cocktail like this, which is cava based or prosecco based in the theatre, we do get through the 3 litres. So cheers, and here's perhaps a good start for your Christmas dinner. Okay, so we'll make up now. It's Boxing Day morning, and you might need a little reviver after all that celebration and making sure that the children have given Granny a damn good kiss over Christmas. So I'm going to make for you a breakfast martini, and yes, it is a pick-me-up, this one. So I've filled the cocktail shaker with ice, and I'm now going to use some fresh lemon juice and squeeze a good amount of that into the cocktail shaker. Our good old household stable, a measure of gin, and we need some orange in it, so why not use Grand Marnier, an orange liqueur. Of course, you could also use Cointreau or triple sec. And then it's breakfast time, and if you've helped yourself when we used to have hotel buffets, you may have a hotel portion of marmalade. So take a spoon of the marmalade, add that in, let's put a bit more marmalade in, there we go. So that's ready, and now just I'll find the lid. Give that a good shake up. Plenty of ice was nice and chilled for Boxing Day morning. You can see the condensation once again. So what a beautiful 5 a day this would make. And there we go. There we go, a nice breakfast martini. Cheers. Of course, if you wanted, you could add orange juice as well. Happy Boxing Day. Right, and just to finish off, a real family favourite. A cocktail that's become very popular in the UK, maybe in the last 5 years, using an ingredient that really we hadn't heard of before that. So I'm going to make you an Aperol Spritz. Now it's what's called a 3-2-1 cocktail. So the 3 parts are cava, these 2 here. The 2 parts is the Aperol. Aperol is an 11% aperitif from Italy. And the last part is the 1 part, and that's soda water. So we just add those into the glass. You can hear it fizzing away. There's the Aperol to give it the colour. And you just finish it off, we give that a little swirl. And you put the soda water on the top. And that makes a really refreshing drink. And if you're in the habit of going to cocktail bars at all, and maybe you've bought a voucher off somewhere like Groupon, like 4 cocktails for a certain amount of money, If there's an Aperol Spritz on the menu, it's a really good one to start off with because you always get a big pour.
Where everybody